Welcome to yet another episode of Applied Salesforce. Here I shall walk you through few key concepts which are central to Lightning Web Component development. Without much ado, let's muse over the micro project requirements. Kali, the VP of Sales at upquotient.com, a career transformer and an amplifier company, based on the inputs from his sales agents, has entrusted you, the seasoned Lightning experienced developer, to implement the below business requirements. The first one is find a quick way to create and associate. So create and associate a contact to an account. Straightforward. The contact fields that needs to be exposed are account ID. This is the relationship field. Second is salutation, first name and last name field of the contact. Pretty straightforward. Second requirement is create and link the contact to an account from two different places. Okay, allowing a contact to be created and linked from two different places. One is the Lightning app page, and second is account record page. Okay, pretty cool. And the third one is upon successful contact create, provide the agent a toast message. And the sample message is also provided. So it should read success, contact created, and the actual contact row ID within square braces, and the text click close to navigate. So upon clicking the close button, the agents have to be navigated to the contact record page of the contact that just got created. Okay, so let the toast message be shown until the agent click the close button. This is typically different from the normal toast behavior. The normal toast behavior is the toast message is shown for 3 seconds and it disappears. But here, the toast message, uh, the toast message is supposed to be displayed on the screen until the user clicks the close button. So, and the fifth is what we discussed. The fifth requirement: upon clicking the close button, navigate the agent to the contact record page, displaying the contact just created. Moments back, we discussed this, and apart from this, there are some special requests from Kali. The form, when displayed, should pre-populate two fields. One is the account name when the component is placed inside the account record page. And the second field that ought to be pre-populated is a salutation field with the value professor. So two fields needs to be pre-populated. Important consideration. So this account name would typically be pre-populated if the artifact or the component that you develop is inside the account record page, and the salutation field has to be pre-populated irrespective of where you place this component. And the third consideration is the same artifact developed should work seamlessly both on app page and record page, obviously, because the customer doesn't want two different components to be developed. I mean, typically doing the same thing to be surfaced inside two different places. And other request is to absolutely avoid Apex because of its inherent overhead, as the low code solution is preferred. Okay, so this is what is being provided to you. And it is customary for you to do a thorough analysis before directly jumping into coding. And you totally relished that. So you relished on the same and decided on the below artifacts. Okay, so that's a solution that you have proposed. So let's say you proposed the lightning web component. Okay, and the base lightning component leveraging the lightning data service. So lightning data service is a beautiful concept. It's a extremely robust and highly efficient feature to access your you know uh, database, to pull the database from the server. Okay, so let's look at what you have analyzed, and you are helping the stakeholders to understand why you leveraged LDS, why you use the base lightning component leveraging, which essentially leverages the Lightning data service. So let's take a good look. So first is this infographics. So if you could take a good look at this infographics, you could see this. There are three different components, okay, and making a call to the same record. Let's assume that's ABC is a record, and these are three different components. I mean, projecting the data in different dimensions within the same page. Okay, you have a page with three different components projecting the same record in different dimensions, and this is the the server call without leveraging the Lightning data service, right? So three different components displaying the same record, but it warrants three separate server calls. You could see there are three separate server calls made into Salesforce database to pull the same record and display it in three different components within the same page. Okay, and these are less performant because duplicate calls for the server data is made, and server side code for the basic data handling, and you need apex code to to be invoked, and your apex code queries the record concerned and pushes it back. So there is multiple round trips to the server is required, although each of these components are displaying the essentially the same record. And UI inconsistencies because if there are updates happening with this component, let's say if a specific field is changed, only this component is going to display the updated value. These two other components, right, still displays the stale data. Okay, so that's the UI inconsistencies talking about. Okay, so this is what is what happens when you don't leverage the feature of Lightning data service. In case if you leverage, so what happens here is you're using the base Lightning component. Okay, so don't worry about the force record data because this typically is the one of the components available inside your Lightning component framework. Okay, so only look at the architecture here. So you could see, this is one of the base Lightning components leveraging the Lightning data service. This is a beautiful feature, and this Lightning data service is intelligent enough to understand if there are multiple calls made for the same record data, um, made from different components. It merges all these calls into one and issues only a single server request. And the single server request, it is not going to invoke Apex, but it has the inherent capability. Lightning Data Service has the capability which is inherent to itself, which typically pulls the required record and then disseminates it to the different components displaying the same data. That's one advantage because your server round trip is minimized. And second important feature is the data, that's the record that is returned is cached. So if there are other requests coming from different components for the same record data, it not even does a server call. So it picks up from the cache and it displays it in the UI. And the third important thing is the UI inconsistencies. If there is an update that happens on a specific field on a particular component, which leverages the Lightning data service, the other components which leverages the Lightning data service automatically gets notified and automatically gets displayed. The updated data, the right data, the latest data gets displayed automatically. Superb feature, right? So that's the advantage of leveraging the Lightning data service. That's the advantage of using your base Lightning components, leveraging Lightning data service. Okay, some theory here. So components accessing the same record see significant performance improvements because a record is loaded only once, no matter how many components are using it. Shared records also improve user interface consistency. When one component updates a record, the other component using it are notified, and in most cases, refresh automatically. You could definitely see that happening in your out of the box components. Let's say your details component. When an update happens on the details component, your highlights panel automatically shows the updated data, right? So that's how, because almost every out of the box components, lightning components, leverage your lightning data service. Okay, pretty cool. So let's move on. So that's the advantage of leveraging the lightning data service. So quick example here. Let's look at just hold on. I haven't kept anything open. Okay, so this is a customized view of account. Just trying to see if I can open the standard application, let's say sales application, and I will quickly show you what this the magic behind this LDS is all about. Okay, so click on any of the out of the box tabs, navigate to the lightning record page. I'm clicking on one of the account records and navigating into the account record page. Okay, it shows up the, let's say we'll take the account name, right? So going to update this. Okay, instead of corp, I put it as inc dot, right? Click on save. You notice this, you could see this. So this is a details component, while this is the highlights panel component, a highlights component. You you update the account name inside the details component, and the highlights panel component automatically, replicates it, replicates the change, or it displays the updated value for this particular field. Okay, so that's the magic. So because both of these components are built mm, on the lightning data service. Okay, cool. So let's move on. Okay, the first, and now you decided to use the lightning web component, and you definitely had two different choices. So first you decided to implement lightning record form. So this is one of the base components which is which leverages the lightning data service. And um, and um, you know uh, this works, but not every requirement could be built using the lightning record form based component. So second, you experimented with a lightning record edit form. This is again a second uh, lightning based component which is built on lightning data services, or which leverages lightning data service. And you got to see this working. So this is the actual solution. So first we will run through the actual solution, and then I will show the impact of using lightning record form, and what are all the shortcomings we will discuss quickly. And so that's about the lightning component for the UI. And the second part is for the toast message. Again, there are two different ways to build this. The first is to leverage the show toast event, which is straightforward, and second, to use the toast blueprint. Okay, so this is nothing but the CSS. So most of the components will have its CSS counterpart. Okay, so components, when you use the components directly, this is less flexible. But if you manage, if your requirement warrants you to have multiple, customization to be done on the component, that you can very well make use of the blueprint, a component blueprint. We will look at the solutions, but the actual solution is built on the blueprint. We will discuss that first, and then I will show you why this out of the box toast event did not help us. Okay, so that's the second part, and third is the page reference. This is for the navigation. So page reference is again an object, JavaScript object, which helps you to construct the uh, the parameters of the destination page. So if you want to navigate to the to a to a specific page, you need to construct the page reference object. So we'll see how this is done. It's pretty straightforward, simple and straightforward. And finally, you wanted to surface the custom component inside the app page and inside the account record page. Okay, so this is the solution, and we will look at the implemented solution first, and then the alternatives that were tried and why it didn't work. Okay, so the implementation, I will show you the demo, and then we will get into the code details. Okay, so close this for now. Okay, so this is the app page. I have created a application lightning custom lightning application is applied, and I have added a app page with the name MP, which is for micro project. That's the first thing that I did, and second is I have also created a record page. I'll show you a simple record page with okay, so this is the out of the box record page, and I've added a couple of tabs here. So this is the first version using record form, and this is the second version which uses record edit form. So this is the solution. So I have leveraged record edit form lightning based component to achieve this. Okay, so let's look at the solution first. Okay, I open the lightning app page, and I need to add this particular component. I haven't added this component yet. So this is an alternative which did not work exactly as required. So I'm going to add the component inside this app page. For that sake, I am editing the app page. Takes me to the lightning app builder, and I will look for the LDS component that I created. So I'll search for micro. So this is the one which works exactly as required. Dragging and dropping it inside the app page. Click on save. I already have activated it, so no need for activation. You can click back. Okay, and I see the component displayed here, and you could see this account name because there is no account record context, so that is left blank. And as per the requirement, you need to pre-populate, right? So you need to pre-populate the account name if it is inside the account record page. So this is not inside the account record page, it is inside the app page. So this is not required. The second one is the salutation field, which needs to be pre-populated with professor, right? Which is pre-populated with professor. That works um, that works seamlessly. And all you can do is to choose the specific account and create. Let's say I choose um, um, hikings, and the first name could be you know um, Floyd John. Click on create. So what typically happens when you click on create, I need the toast message, and it should stay until I click the close button, OK button, whatever is displayed there. Once I do it, it should take me to the contact record page. So which contact? Professor Floyd John, the contacts record page. Okay, so that is what is expected. So let me click on create new, and I get to see the toast message. Okay, and the close button. Click on close button. It it has to take me to the contact record page. Okay, it navigates me to the contact record page, which essentially displays, you know, the account name is Hikings and Professor Floyd John. So this is what is expected. Okay, and this works seamlessly, absolutely no doubt. And I will walk you through the code now, and then we will look at the alternatives which did not exactly work. It works, but it did not exactly works, and we will look at the reasons. Okay, so let me look at the code first. Okay, so this is the Lightning Web Component. Pretty simple, straightforward piece of code. We This is the HTML part of it, and I have a Lightning card. Okay, with the title and icon name, straightforward. And this is something pretty important because I have not used the toast event, out of the box toast event that we code inside the JavaScript controller, but I have used the toast blueprint. Okay, so what is this toast blueprint? Let's I'll walk you through that. Okay, so if you look at this toast notifications, right? So this is exactly the out of the box event I was talking about, right? So you can have this event spawned, and within within the event you can pass the properties title, message, and variant, and you dispatch the event. It shows the toast message. So this is what is typically used. Okay, so now let's look at the blueprint, toast blueprint. So for the toast, you can say component, you'll have the equivalent blueprint. I'll show you this. Okay, so this is exactly the code, right? So this code, I've used this code, and I've also made few changes to it. Not pretty big, but this is exactly what is being used to create that message, the toast message that you saw, right? So what I have done is, made use of um, the message here, success contact created, and this is a property which gets automatically populated with the contacts row id. And instead of the close instead of the close icon, you could see this, the close icon here, right? So instead of this, what I've done is I've removed this and I've added the button, the normal button. You could say lightning, the icon button, not the normal button, but the icon button. Okay, so this is the flexibility that you get, right? So if you compare it with the toast event, right? If you compare it with the toast event, you don't have any flexibility, right? So the buttons appear inside the toast event, right? I'll show you that also. Let's say I am using hikings and Mr. John Drake. I click on save, right? I click on save. You see, this is the out of the box toast event. Okay, this is out of the box toast event. I don't have any control, right? So I cannot manipulate this particular button, right? I can't really call an event behind this button. If I click on this button, I really can't have a event handler defined, okay, and invoked. So it's easy to code, but from the flexibility point of view, I don't have um, I can't really manipulate it. Okay, but if you take the previous option, right? So again, I will create a record here for hikings. Mm, okay, I click on create, create new, right? So what you see, right, this particular toast message, that is this part. Okay, this is exactly what it provides. And you could see this icon, right, lightning button icon, that's this one. Okay, and what should happen when I click this is also defined. So you could see on click, right, on click, I wanted some actions to be performed, right? I Upon click, I wanted the user to be navigated to the contact record page, right? So that also is defined. On click, do what? On click, call this particular event handler. So that event handler is defined inside my JavaScript controller. You could say close toast and navigate to contact, right? So what I'm trying to do here, all I'm trying to do is to, you know, create an page reference. We spoke about the page reference. I'm creating a page reference. I will show you the documentation for this. And once I'm calling the navigate function on the page reference object, and only this is required to have your user navigated to a specific page. Okay, we will discuss this in detail, but this is what the JavaScript code looks like. Okay, um, so now you have gotten the reason why we used, why I used the, the blueprint instead of out of the box event handler. Okay, so that's the flexibility we get. And what else is in the UI level? The important thing is the second important thing is the lightning record edit form, right? So the lightning record edit form is a base lightning component which leverages the lightning data service. Okay, so let's look at its syntax. I've created an infographics for it. So you could say lightning record edit form, I've used that. And all it takes is the record ID. So record ID is the row ID, in this case the row ID of the account. So when this particular component is placed inside the account record page, you have the ID context, right? Account ID context. So it gets populated. But at the same time, if you place this inside the app page, there is absolutely no context of the account record. I'm talking about this page, right? So when you place this inside the app page, this is an app page, right? So you don't have the context of this account, right? So if I click on refresh, you see this account name is blank, right? Because it does not understand which account to show up in this. But if you look at the other place, so you are inside United Oil and Gas, you could see this gets automatically populated, right? United Oil and Gas, right? Because it understands you are inside the account, so you have the account context. So this row ID, based on the account's row ID, it automatically pulls the name of the account and shows this up. Okay, so that's the context we're talking about. And the object API name is the API name of the object. So it's going to be a contact because I'm going to create a contact record. So the API name of the contact API name of the contact object, which is contact. And on success, so this is the out of the box event. So you can define an event handler. So once the operation is successful, right, whether it is, whether it is saving a record, update and save, or create and save, on success what happens is it is going to call the show dynamic toast. It's a custom JavaScript of method that you've written. Okay, it's going to call it. And apart from that, this is going to be very flexible because you can define the fields that you want it, right? So if you look at our code, the lightning record edit form, you could see the object API name. So this is a property. This gets set inside the JavaScript code. And on success, what to do, right? On success, call this event handler, show custom toast. So this is a custom event handler that you have defined. And let's look at object API name. Object API name is a property inside or JavaScript object API name. So that's something that is given as input, and on success show custom toast is the JavaScript method show custom toast. Okay, and I wanted to project three different fields. Um, right, in total it's four different fields. The first field is the account ID field, and I can pre-populate. So the Lightning record edit form has an option, um, has an has an option to pre-populate certain field values. So input Lightning input field has the value attribute, and which is through which you can pre-populate that particular field. So the account ID that you see inside the record page, this gets automatically populated because of this. Okay, it's the value, and the professor is, again, you have hard coded it. That's the reason why you see the salutation field getting pre-populated. Okay, and the other two input fields, first name and last name, that is what you could see here, right? First name and last name. And this is the button that you create at the last, right? Lightning button with type equal to submit. This is always going to be type, is always going to be submit, and it does the trick. Okay, and either it allows you to update some record, or it allows you to create the record. Doesn't matter. Okay, in this context, it is only create because we are creating a contact and associating with the account concerned. So that's the HTML part. And let's look at the JavaScript part. So this is the customary statement, the lightning element, and the decorator from LWC module. You're importing this, and you're also importing the navigation mixin function from lightning navigation module. And this navigation, the service, the lightning navigation, to navigate to many different page types like records, list views, and objects. So this is, if you want to have your user navigate to different pages or objects or list views, you need to import the navigation service, and that you're doing it from the lightning navigation module. Okay, and here you're using, you are trying to get a reference, a dynamic reference to the contact object. Okay, so import dynamic reference to object and fields. So if you import the references to objects and fields, Salesforce verifies that the objects and fields exist, which also catches typos, prevents objects and fields from being deleted, and cascades any renamed objects and fields into your component source code. So that's the advantage of using the dynamic reference. This is a user defined name. It could be anything, but it is customary to have all in uppercase. So what you're trying to do is to get a dynamic reference to the contact object. So this you will be using it, right? So, and this is part of the setup. And let's look at the code here. And you have this navigation mixin as a wrapper over a lightning elements class. And you have this record ID, and this is also special. Okay, so this record ID automatically populates the row ID of the record in context when inside a record page, else null. Ideally, it may be populated or not based on the Lightning Web Component, where this Lightning Web Component plays. So this is uh, the magic through which you are able to get the row ID of the account, right? So if this component is placed inside the account record page, okay, so this property, right, record ID, will get automatically populated with the row ID of the account record. So in this context, this row ID will be populated inside the record ID property. Okay, and this is another property which would be set later. And the object API name is another property which is defaulted to the reference of the contact object that you have gotten here. And ShowToast, initially you have set it to false. Okay, and what happens? ShowToast event, and close toast and navigate to contact. This we had seen, right? So let's go back to close toast and navigate to contact. Okay, and show custom toast. Let's see this. Okay, so close toast and navigate to contact. So this is what we discussed, right? So initially, right? So initially, you'll have the toast not shown. Okay, so this particular show toast is set to false. You could see this here. Show toast is set to false, so it doesn't show up. And you get the form here, right? So you get the form, and you click on um, add this. Okay, click on create new. So when you click on create new, what happens? Let's take a look. Okay, so this is what shows the form. Okay, and you have this button, and you click on this button, right? And then it shows up this message, right? So what happens when you click? Okay, so what happens when you click? Once the save operation is successful, you see this on success, right? So it is going to invoke this event handler, show custom toast. Okay, so what is written inside show custom toast inside the JavaScript? So this show custom toast, this is an event. It takes the event which fires this particular JavaScript method as a parameter, and through this event you are able to get the contacts row ID. So ID of the contact that just got created, which means the ID of Professor Jamie Uvi got stored inside the contact ID. So contact ID is nothing but the JavaScript property. And then you're setting this dot show toast. So this show toast property is set to true. So what happens when this is set to true is, right, so this particular thing is set to true, and it shows your toast message. This is where your toast message gets shown. This is what you see here. Okay, so this is what you see here. Okay, so what happens when you click on this button, the close button, right? So when you click on this close button, on click, you are calling another JavaScript method, which is close toast and navigate to contact. And what it does, so it is going to create a page reference object. So what is this page reference object? Pretty simple. Let's look at the definition. So the page reference types, okay, to navigate in Lightning Experience, Bilicides or Salesforce mobile app, define a page reference object. You're exactly doing that. So it has certain syntax to be followed, and using the page reference object, you will be able to create references and navigate to all these types. You could see so many of them, and what interests us is the record page. Okay, so you need to construct the page reference object in order to navigate to record page. So you look at the syntax, you scroll down to the bottom, and you could see record page. So a page type, record page type. You could see this record page type, right? The record page type, a page that interacts with the record in org and supports standard actions for the record. Okay, standard record page, that is the type. So you give the type as standard record page, and there are certain attributes that you fill up straightforward. What is a record ID? Because you are navigating to a record page, and you should supply which record to navigate. So that is already gotten from here, right? The contact ID, so that you're supplying here. And which object? So that's a contact object, right? So you already have the contact object reference taken, you're supplying it. And third is action name. So the detailed page is nothing but the detailed view. So view is the action name. Okay, and that is what you need to provide as the parameter. And this is the syntax that you use. Now you understand why the syntax, it is based on this. Okay, you could see the syntax. Okay, okay, so and that's it. And the third one is the last item is the targets, because you're going to place this particular component in two different places. One is inside the Lightning app page, and second is the Lightning record page. So the targets have to uh, be appropriately defined. Okay, and let's check if anything else to be done. I believe that all of the requirements, right, is done, and it works perfectly as expected. And we also had seen, why we had to use the blueprint, right, instead of the service, the toast service. And this is again, the um, yeah. So this one, if you see this, so this is based on a record form. Okay, the record form, and this is based on the record edit form. So record form is easy to build. Okay, so I'll show you the code for the record form. You could see this. Yeah, so the record form is easy to build, and where you don't have an option to specify the fields. Okay, if you compare the lightning record form, okay, with the lightning record edit form, right? So you could see the lightning record edit form where you are, it's pretty flexible. um, Maybe the from the creation point of view, it might be slightly expensive from time perspective, uh, because you need to jot down the different fields. So you have both type of fields which needs to be shown as read only, as well as the fields which takes input. So you can definitely do it. So this is flexible enough. That's the first thing that you could see it here. And the second one is, if you look at right, if you look at the uh, the pre-population, right? So you can't pre-populate the account name and the salutation, right, inside the record form. But if you look at this, you are able to pre-populate both account name and the salutation. Okay, so we could have definitely used the record form, but you understood the shortcomings, right? So you understood the shortcomings, and the other one is, no, we already discussed why I had to go with the lightning, um, the blueprints, right? Blueprints instead of the toast, right? So because of the message, the toast message, you wouldn't be able to customize the button, the close button, and you wouldn't be able to associate the event handler to the close button in case if you had used the out of the box toast event in this. So I have used the out of the box toast event here. You could see this, right? So I never had an option to associate the event handler explicitly. Okay, so because of these two reasons, we resorted to use the lightning record edit form first, and and the blueprint for the toast message. Okay, so that's it. We have I have implemented this, and I had demoed this to the customer. Kali is happy, customers happy, and we had an in-depth discussion of multiple artifacts that's been used to implement this requirement. Okay, pretty cool. And that's it for now. And we'll catch up with at another episode. And thank you and take care. Bye bye.